everybody. Welcome in. We are going to promote Hannah so she can come in here with me. So I'm not all by my lonesome. Hello, hello. Oh, it's great. We have a good turnout today. Hi, everybody. Let me see. There she is. Here, you know what? I'm going to make sure that you can share stuff. Sorry,
Ooh.
there's a...
Hi, good to see you.
Hey, Hannah. Let's see. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Making you a co-host so you can share stuff because there's stuff to look at. All right. Hi, everybody. We got such a great turnout. You know why? Because book awards are terrifying. Like we don't have to get rejected enough with our writing. Now we have to do book awards too, but that's where Hannah's here to help. All right, everybody. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping and we'll do a quick intro. Thank you all for being here. My name is Casey LaCourte. I work for the illustrious Alexa Big Wharf and I help her do basically whatever she tells me to do. Today, we are going to be talking about book awards. I'm going to look at my little notes here so I can say all the right things. Okay, so today we are navigating book awards, what authors need to know, also known as all the things. Uh, the lovely Hannah Jacobson is the founder of Book Award Pro, the industry trusted platform for book awards and reviews. Book Award Pro has served thousands of authors globally and developed proven systems for securing legitimate accolades and transforming them into powerful marketing assets. I always like to highlight because your mom loves your book. She does. I'm sure everybody's moms love their book, but that's not really what we're looking for right now. All right, so this is being recorded. If for some reason anybody has to leave or their power goes out or their internet goes wonky, things happen. We will have the replay along with the slides that Hannah's already sent me. I've got loaded and in about a day or so. Give me a minute. I live out in the country. It takes a minute to get everything downloaded to Dropbox, but we will get that all uploaded and everybody will have access to it. I do ask, we have the chat open. I'd love to see everybody. Give me a little hi there. Tell me where you're from. But if you have any questions, there is a Q&A box at the bottom. Sometimes you have to click the little more button to see the Q&A box. But please put all questions there. Out from I love Seattle, by the way. I used to live out in Edmonds. Florida, nice. Put all questions in the Q&A box because if they go in the chat as we chat, it will just eat them and I will have a very difficult time finding them. And if it's okay with you, Hannah, at the end, we'll leave some time for questions and I'll read those out so we have them for the recording.
Absolutely, that totally works for me, Casey.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, so I am going to be quiet. Oh, and I wanted to let everybody know, did everybody enjoy the little video promo we had in the waiting room? Did that work like it was supposed to for WhipCon, our publishing, the in-person live event we're doing? So let me know if you guys liked that little video promo we had going on in the waiting room. Hopefully everything worked. Technology is not my forte. But I did want to make a real quick announcement and let everybody know that for our in-person event in Columbia, that was promoting the room block ends on the 28th. We had it extended. You can still get a room, but for the discounted price, the group rate, I guess they call them, that is ending on the 28th. And if the video didn't work, I apologize. It was supposed to be set up. Again, not my forte. Working on it. You know what we're doing? Our best. We're just going to do our best. All right. I will let Hannah take it from here.
Always, we're always doing our best. And thank you so much, Casey, for arranging this, for your beautiful introduction, and for everyone joining us here today. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time in your author journey. Your time is precious, it's the most valuable resource you have. And so, anything you can do to grow, to learn, to really just understand what is the kind of landscape of book publishing and how can these things help you, all of that is a huge investment in your book and your author career. And Casey really brought up that book awards are a big struggle for authors. In fact, that's how we got started at Book Award Pro, because book awards can be cumbersome to manage. It can be difficult to figure out what's out there for your book. And honestly, it's been a really confusing kind of pain point for authors. But it's been our pride and joy, honestly, to make that more clear, more powerful, give you more ways to actually find the right awards for your book and also learn how to use them. So today I'm going to give you some really powerful tools to figure out, how to get started in your book awards journey. And, like Casey was saying, the WIP Summit is only a couple of weeks away. So if you are attending that, I hope you come to my session about book reviews and how you can find book reviews and actually leverage those for your books. So today, while I get my slides pulled up, just know that I'm going to leave plenty of time for you to ask questions at the end. So as we go along, go ahead and put your questions in the Q&A box, and I will be sure to leave plenty of time to get to those. So let's rock and roll book awards. Here's what you need to know to get started in your journey. And first of all, kind of understanding how does Book Award Pro know so much about accolades? And when I say accolades, I mean book awards and book reviews. And we are very proud to operate the world's largest database of legitimate awards and reviews. And if you had asked me when I first got started how many awards are out there, I might have told you maybe 100. There's a lot of awards out there. But the truth is, there are actually thousands, and we know this because we track more than 11,000 unique accolades in our database. We track and monitor these accolades to ensure they're doing right by authors. They're actually providing results. And there's so many different kinds of awards out there. We'll get into that here shortly, but it is really exciting to see what is out there for your book. A lot of authors don't realize how vast this kind of landscape is. Of course, Book Award Pro helps authors around the world find the perfect awards and the perfect reviews for their books every year. And last year alone, in 2025, from entries performed by our professional team, our authors actually won more than 2,000 awards. So that was really exciting news, not just for us, but for our authors. And with those accolades, they've been able to go on and use that in their book marketing. We're also really proud to inform industry resources. Other book publishing entities trust Book Award Pro, rely on Book Award Pro for our good, sound research on these different accolades. And you may also be familiar with my work over at Ally, the Alliance of Independent Authors, where we help provide important data information to fuel all of the awards resources over at Ally. And in a nutshell, how Book Award Pro works, we cover every part, every aspect of the awards process for you. So finding the right awards for you, finding the right reviews based on the unique qualities, the unique traits of your book. You can also see expert research. What are some of the research components of each award, like a description? What are the winner's benefits? How much does the entry fee cost? You can see all of these details at a glance within your Book Award Pro dashboard. And of course, we even perform those professional award and review entries for you. So stay tuned for a free month of our pro service. And this is special for our WIP Summit attendees. For this whole community, this offer is just for you. And I'll tell you exactly what comes with that free month of pro. And my goals for you today. Number one is really putting awards on your radar. Unfortunately, book awards are one of those really valuable resources for your book marketing, but so many authors feel very overwhelmed with them or don't even know where to start that they don't pursue them. So that won't be the case with us today. I'll put awards on your radar, and we'll also talk about how you can find accolades and how can you assess quality accolades? How can you assess quality awards for your book and know what to enter, and also create a winning strategy for yourself. I will say that every book has its own unique goals. You may have different goals for your different books, maybe for a series, for a book on its own. And at the end of the day, creating a winning strategy for not just each work that you've written, but your entire body of work can really go to support your author brand and your overall professionalism as an author. And I think to really give you a strong foundation of where to start with all of this, I want to talk about what are some of the common questions that we get about book awards. And by far, the, the most common question we get is, are there awards for my book? And I can tell you that absolutely, no matter what you've written, how you've written it, how you publish it, if it is published, when it will be published, maybe it was published 10 years ago, there will always be accolades, there will always be awards for your book. The question is, it's less if there is something out there for you and more what is out there for you. And when you can find those opportunities, how do you harness them? So that is a really exciting discovery for most authors who don't. You may not have realized that there are actually awards specific to your book. It is, in the past, has been very difficult to find those opportunities, but we like to make that easy for you. And exploring big book award myths, I think one of the most common challenges for authors, of course, is not knowing that awards are kind of out there. And then the number one myth that holds the book publishing world back is the thinking that book awards happen to you. It's very common thinking to see, as an author, you come across the news that someone else, another author, has won an award. And it's easy to think, and it's very common to think, that that award was kind of bestowed upon them for some unknown reasons. They were kind of selected for that. But what most authors don't understand is actually there's a process behind every single book award. There's actually a process that goes into that to actually finding those accolades, navigating it, and then being able to announce those award-winning results. We will get into that more in this session today, but you should definitely know that book awards don't happen to you. There's something that you pursue for your book. And that's an exciting realization because it puts the power in your hands and gives you a way to actually do that for your book. And when we talk about scams, scams are a big issue, of course, in all parts of the world. But when it comes to book awards specifically, I think it's important to define what is a scam. And at Book Award Pro, we define a scam as an award, an entity, even a review that's not upholding its promises to authors. So this could be maybe they collect your book information, your entry fee, and they never announce results. The award goes completely missing. They never respond to their entrants. They just kind of disappear. That would be one example of a book award scam. Now, I will tell you that scams occasionally do happen, but what's really a good thing is that scams are actually quite rare. And when you hear about scams, normally it's you're seeing someone has reported variable level of value in that award. So we will get into that much later in the session, but I'll help you be able to detect what's good quality for your book. How can you find those? How can you actually pursue those? So you should note that scams do exist. They are quite rare. If you're using Book Award Pro, you will never see a scam. You will never be matched to a scam in your account. So that's even the benefit of our starter plan, which is completely free. You can know that all of the awards, all of the reviews that you see in your account are completely, they're legitimate. They've already been researched, they're trusted, they're actually good entities for you. If you're doing it on your own, be more aware, be more alert of scams. Another book award myth that we're going to bust today is that there are not many award options out there for your book. That's absolutely not the case. And like I started this by saying, if you had asked me a few years ago how many awards are out there, I might have told you 100. And now we know for sure there are thousands of awards out there. So when it comes to the kind of breadth of award options out there, not only are there lots, but for individual books, no matter when you publish, how you publish, what you write, what genres you write, I can assure you there will always be lots of options for you all the time. We'll go into this more later, but keep in mind that awards are changing and growing all the time. So, what's an option for you today is very different from the options that were available to you yesterday, the day before, and even next week. Just that landscape changes all the time, which again is kind of another exciting data point to be able to see there's always lots of options for your book. Another big book award myth is thinking that only the famous awards count. So, I can actually tell you from seeing just marketing statistics, it is completely true that even if you won a Pulitzer Prize, you could have as few as 10 Amazon reviews for your book. It doesn't, a famous award doesn't automatically make your book successful. It doesn't automatically make it known. And this is something we'll get more into later. But really, the value of a book award is what you make of it as an author. It's how you use that award, how you leverage it, that's going to make the most difference above all name brands of awards that you could possibly find. In fact, there's a lot of value in finding awards that maybe a reader hasn't heard of, but it's very local. There is such a thing as very regional, local, specialized awards that are intended to appeal to readers in that area. So that's one example of a way that, winning an award that maybe you hadn't heard of before, maybe another reader hadn't heard of before, is completely valid, legitimate, and actually a great way to be able to connect with them, because at the end of the day, it is how you use that award, maybe even how that award is sharing their announcement with other readers as well. And last but certainly not least, the book award myth that it only matters if you win. Now, I can tell you at Book Award Pro, we hold this concept to us very dear called story marketing. And I'll share with you that there is beauty, there is intention, there is professionalism behind sharing every stage, every step of the awards process with your audience, with your readers. So, first of all, that means that you're aware that there is a process behind book awards. It means that you know that you have to submit your book to even be considered. And then sharing that process, those kind of special moments with your audience, with their readers, they want to see what you're doing as an author. This kind of opens up professional conversations that you're able to share what it's like, kind of a day in the life of an author submitting your book for awards, and even being able to network with other entrants to the award. When other people are posting about their progress, their news, that's another way to connect with those authors, and especially like romance, the romance genre, for example. A lot of romance authors are very collaborative, and they will see that other authors have entered the same award that they've entered, and as a way of kind of engaging more readers, engaging their audience. They'll do things like book swaps, like a newsletter swap. They may run a sale together. There's lots of different ways that I can tell you it definitely doesn't only matter if you win. Share every step of the process and really use that as a way to share a story, engage in that story marketing with your audience. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not celebrate Book Award truths. Again, there's a lot of power in these accolades and really in being able to use them effectively, not only for your specific book, but for your whole author platform. Book awards are an important source of validation. I had one author tell me, along the author journey, a little validation doesn't hurt. It's nice to know, like Casey was saying earlier, sometimes in the writing process, you may have found lots of challenges along the way, or things that you feel like you kept kind of hitting a brick wall against. But when you submit to a book award, when you're getting feedback from judges, and maybe even earning award-winning success, these book awards can give you important validation for yourself to kind of keep going, that you're doing things right, that there are maybe even things that you can fix along the way. They're a very important source of validation. And social proof, we're going to talk a lot about this in our session about book reviews next week, but book awards on their own as well. Book awards establish a certain kind of social proof that show other readers that another reader has read this book, enjoyed this book, so much that it was awarded. And of course, credibility. There's nothing like award winning success that really bolsters your credibility, not only for your book on its own, maybe even a series, but also your professional, your author brand. The way that you can incorporate award winning into your different materials can really, really make a big difference, not only in your level of professionalism, but just in the kinds of readers that you will begin to attract. There's a lot of credibility associated with awards. And of course, we talked a little bit about story marketing on that last slide. And I want you to keep in mind, as you go along in your own awards journey, keep in mind what are stories that you can share with your audience? What are ways that you can engage with them? What are moments in your day, moments of your awards process that you can share with them that really highlight your humanism? Maybe the professional achievements that you're trying to earn for your book. There's a lot of work that goes into being an author. Demystify the process for them. Let your readers see a day in the life. Let your readers see and know and kind of follow along your journey, and even allow them to cheer for you. We do see authors kind of engaging in story marketing. They've told us this is one of the best ways that they have been able to not only engage their readers, but engage their readers over a long period of time. Your readers become more invested in you, invested in your story. They enjoy following you, and they want to hear more, not only about your book, but maybe about future books that you do. Or maybe if you're a nonfiction author writing a book to support your business, maybe they want to start learning more about your business. That story marketing is a way for your readers to connect with you and get more deeply involved in your processes or in your services or books. Something really exciting I like to share about Book Awards that's very, very understated and very, very unknown is that there are often bonus benefits for entrants. And behind the scenes at Book Award Pro, we actually recently updated our app to show you when a bonus benefit is part of an award entry. And what a bonus benefit actually is something that is above and beyond your award entry, but you didn't have to pay anything extra for it. It's included with your award consideration. So a couple of examples of that are actually feedback, maybe private feedback directly from the judges, the judging panel. A lot of our authors really enjoy judging feedback because it can show you blind spots with your work. Sometimes it's a way of detecting maybe you need another level of editing, or maybe in fact, maybe there are pages missing in the book copy that you provided, or other errors that you are able to fix. Maybe as if you submit your book prior to publication, you can even find those issues prior to publication. So feedback, definitely look for that as a valuable bonus benefit to help your book. Sometimes you may also get a complimentary editorial review with your award entry. And I can't tell you enough, this kind of 1-2 punch, this combination is hugely helpful for your book. Number one, you didn't have to pay anything on top of your entry fee to get this editorial review. And editorial reviews are often, that's another way to establish credibility. That's another way that you can help market your book. We will go more into that in my session in a couple of weeks, but definitely be on the lookout for when a complimentary editorial review is included in your award entry. That is a huge, huge, valuable bonus benefit. And of course, publicity. Publicity can be found in lots of different ways. Some awards they actually publicize in a press release who their entrants are, or some of their top entrants. Or maybe you get some extra social media mentions, social media posts about your book. And this is, again, nothing that you paid for, something that was included in your award entry. And that's another way, at the end of the day, another way that readers can find, discover, read your book. So all of these bonus benefits go to basically maybe grow your book marketing or offer some kind of feedback that would actually allow your book to grow. I will say the bonus benefits it's a growing trend with book awards, because awards that are doing really great things for authors will continue to see more entrants, the ones who are doing really well. It's not included in 100% of award entries, but it is a growing trend, and that's really exciting to see just in the book publishing industry overall. Another truth is kind of similar to bonus benefits, but by the time you become an award-winning author, when you win an award, often there's some kind of prize package offered to you. So different awards, every award is completely different. So some awards may offer a cash prize. They may offer editing services, manuscript critiques, bonus kind of services that you don't have to pay anything for. Of course, what's very common and super helpful is a digital award seal. And this award seal, depending on the resolution, could be used for your book cover design. Hugely helpful in all of your author materials. This includes social media, your website, other places like that. When you get an award seal, you want to use that as professionally and as much as possible to really grow that credibility and attract those readers who really do enjoy book awards. When I talk about reviews, it's very similar, but book awards are, at the end of the day, their credibility and their discoverability for your book. So keep that in mind as you're going through this whole process. That's what it's all about. Of course, book awards are excellent for an author brand refresh. We see this a lot with especially authors. Maybe you've published multiple books over the years and you're just kind of looking to brushen up, kind of freshen up some things. Adding award-winning author to your website, to your author bio, think of every time that you send maybe a podcast pitch or you're pitching yourself to a local media outlet. Award-winning success can be built into your author branding in such a way you can give yourself a huge refresh and kind of bring those, maybe the older titles that you've written, bring that back into relevancy and continue to grow your book sales. Now, it's important, of course, we talked about some of the myths, some of the truths of book awards. How on earth do you actually find them? And keep in mind, we talked about there are thousands of awards out there. How do you find them all? So first of all, I do recommend avoiding outdated generic lists. That's because these lists, they're not doing anything wrong, but they're not taking into account the very specific details, that specific metadata about your book. Things like your publication date, your copyright date, which is different, your page count, your word count, all these different kinds of materials, your specific genre that you write in. There are dozens and dozens of criteria that you should be considering that Book Award Pro, even on our starter plan, which is completely free, takes into account for you. So I recommend avoiding outdated lists. They're not specific to your book, and you'll end up spending a lot more time sorting out what's a right fit and what's not a right fit for your book. Of course, filtering out scams. If you're going this alone, absolutely do your best to avoid those. If you're using Book Award Pro, that's not a worry. You'll never see one. And determining the best category fit for your book. Again, if you're using Book Award Pro when you're actually starting your book in our system, we'll give you these different options to share details about your book, and we will already find those niche, beautiful categories. If you're doing this on your own, be careful not to just target, very generic, general categories. Those can be beneficial, but also look out for the ones that are very niche, very special for your book. So for example, if you write romance, maybe you submit to awards in the romance genre, but maybe you write paranormal romance, and maybe the paranormal romance also has little slices of fantasy. Maybe it has dragons in it. Well, you can actually look for awards that actually highlight those details, that celebrate those details about your book, and in turn, those really kind of fun categories, truly, those fun categories bring additional marketability to your book. And don't be afraid to kind of pull back and see your book is not just a romance book. Maybe it's historical fiction as well. Entering your book in different kinds of awards, different kinds of categories, do bring that additional marketability to your book. And of course, at the end of the day, if you need help with any of that, Book Award Pro will do all of that for you. And finding high value awards for your book is so important because, again, time is a very valuable resource to you, as is your money. So every time that you're paying an entry fee for an award, look to see, does this award align with my author goals? Maybe is the entry fee within my budget? And that range is all over the place. Entry fees range from completely free to upwards of $500. The industry average is $89. And for our international audience, that's 89 US dollars. Of course, always be on the lookout for bonus benefits and what is the value. If you become a winner, what overall value does this award bring to your book? And do keep in mind at the end of the day, assess all of these and build on top of that, what value could you make of this award? Now, we often get asked, when should you start seeking awards, just in general? We like to say, in a perfect world, if you can, 3 months prior to publication is the sweet spot because at that 3 month prior to publication, your book is probably mostly complete. It's feeling like a book in its PDF form. So you have a book cover, you've been through the major rounds of book editing. Your book it's ready for readers. And when it's ready for readers, or about 90% there, it's ready to share with award judges. The benefit of seeking 3 months prior to publication is you have time to see what's out there for your book, actually move through that process and have time to submit your book, and you have time to receive results. So we work with lots of authors who choose to do this route, even 3 to 6 months prior to publication, and they're using awards as a way to launch their book as an award-winning book. So that's an exciting way. If you're looking to launch a book soon, you can build that into your book launch. Of course, as soon as possible is best. That's because a lot of awards, they do pay attention to the date you submitted and what is when was your book published, when was the copyright date. But I will say it's better to is better late than never, right? So even if you have a book that you never entered for awards and it's been years after your publication date, there are still awards out there for you. The trick is to find what's out there for you. And keep in mind, so of course, BookAward Pro can handle every stage of this for you. We regularly perform thousands of submissions for our authors, but if you're doing this by yourself, and you're, say, using BookAward Pro to find the best awards for your book, and then moving through the submissions process yourself, keep this in mind. You want to keep this handy. Research your award options, see what's a really great fit for your book, see what would bring you the most value. Prepare your nomination materials, so get everything in order, your book copy, your book cover. There's a lot of stuff to kind of gather to make your entry process easier. Manage the requirements for every single award that you enter. Make sure that you are following every detail that they ask for. Some awards want page count, word count, and needs to fall within certain guidelines and rules. Always pay attention to those. Perform the submission. Actually get your book into the award on time before the due date. That sounds like a really simple step, but I will say when you're an author and you're juggling lots of different balls in the, I guess the circus of book publishing, then it's really easy to get distracted and get off course and just simply forget to perform an award entry. So make sure you've put all this time and care into figuring out what to submit to. You gathered all your materials. Make sure you get all of that in on time. And last but not least, absolutely track your results. See what's the outcome of your entry. You may even get feedback that, for example, maybe you learn from the process and realize that you entered way too early, that you entered way too late. Or you also need to track results to know, did you become an award-winning author? Also, tracking your results will help you build that into, again, your story marketing. And when you are managing your entry, staying on top of it, it gives you a chance to follow follow your entry through the process, share that with your readers, and ultimately track what is your success with that award. Of course, if BookAward Pro is handling an entry for you, we always do that and we will let you know when you win an award. And just some of our best tips. I know this has been a lot of information and we're coming up on our Q&A soon. But just some of my best tips to share with you are really starting early is going to be really helpful because that just gives you as much time as possible to wrap your head around all of this and really dig into the details. Staying organized, knowing exactly what you submitted to. Again, if you use any plan in the BookAward Pro app, you can actually mark your progress. So mark an award as submitted. Keep track of things. Make sure you know what's coming due, when was it due, when did you submit, and when to announce or when to expect results. And of course, don't be afraid to let tools do the heavy lifting. Again, no matter what plan you're on, you can use BookAward Pro to actually track, manage your entries, and just make that a lot simpler. Keep in mind some of the most feedback that our authors receive about their books. Again, you may get judging feedback as a bonus benefit for your award entry, but we hear a lot from judges that editing could be improved, book cover design, these things, you want them to be as professionally done as possible because at the end of the day, judging panels are readers. Judges are readers and they want to read a professional and nice quality book. Be sure to budget for entry fees. Again, that average is $89 per entry. That's completely industry standard. And staying on top of deadlines, being able to actually put your book through this process, stay on top of deadlines, and get your book into the running so that you can get award-winning news. So again, lots of information, but at the end of the day, it is a pretty simple process. First, you want to find legitimate opportunities, focus on those, figure out what's a great fit for your book. Streamline your process as much as possible. You don't have endless hours to dedicate to this, so streamlining and staying organized is going to help you stay on track. And also, don't forget to share your journey with your readers all along the way. Maybe some authors do choose to only share award-winning news, but then I will say that you're missing out on that story marketing opportunity and that opportunity to really grow and engage with your audience. So specifically for this community, if you're tuning in today, if you are attending the WIP Summit, you have a special offer from BookAward Pro. Every year, we've really enjoyed doing this. We're going to give you a free month of Pro, and that includes, of course, seeing what expert research we've done for every single accolade, seeing what's a great fit for your book, being able to find the perfect awards and the perfect reviews for your book specifically, and also on the Pro plan, you'll see editorial reviews and special awards. We didn't go into that in this topic today, but special awards are really cool in that there are awards for unique things like audiobooks, series, book cover design, interior design even. So on the Pro plan, you'll be able to see that, and there is the link to get that. Of course, we'll put that link in the chat, and that's always available on the Women in Publishing Summit homepage. You can find us. We're a proud sponsor of the summit, and yeah, that's the go. Get your free month of Pro at any time. You can also downgrade, so take advantage of your free month of service, and before your book renews on that plan, change it to the starter plan. And the benefit of that is that you can continue to see what's a great fit for your book, see researched legitimate accolades, and then when an opportunity comes up, you can actually take action. So with that, it's really been a pleasure to be here. Casey, would you help me source some Q&A?
I totally will. Let's see. I dropped the link in the chat for you guys to be
Thank
able to
you.
click on more easily.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's see. We're gonna start with the oldest. Okay. Is there a way to report suspected scams when we see them in our search results?
Absolutely interesting. If you do see a scam, Book Award Pro always stays on top of that, and we would love to hear from you. Too, if you have an experience with an award that you would like to report to us, we're always open. You can always get in touch with us at team@bookawardpro.com.
All right. Well, if yeah, that's good to know. Like if they just have something like they know out in the wild. Like I know
Yeah,
I've used this one before and it was not great. Yeah.
yeah,
Perfect.
that's nice to know. I will say too, on the topic of scams, a lot of times they happen, they are created and they go so quickly that there's a good chance that a scam has happened, but it never saw the light of day.
Hmm.
So that's always a fascinating kind of topic to me. If you do see something sketchy out in the wild, be sure to report it to us because we always want to collect those details.
Well, yeah, and there's what is it, Writers Beware, that website
Yes.
that's got all the like stuff on it. All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. Yeah.
All right, next question. Are there stats about what your chances are of winning a particular award? Kind of like college admissions chances.
That's a great question. Honestly, the simple answer is no. I wish there were, publicly widely available data that we could share about that. I can say that for Book Award Pro, if you email us, we will be able to query our system at any time, and we can see only from the submissions that Book Award Pro has performed what the rate of success has been.
Okay, well, that's good to know. It's an option.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
all
These are great
right.
questions, by the
I
way,
know
too.
there's
Thank
they're
you.
coming in. All right. Best-selling author with multiple self-published or collaborative books. I was accepted into Who's Who of America, even though they didn't really help. This is an old author credibility, but is it valuable or worthless now?
Um, I might ask for further clarification on that. And by the way, congratulations. It sounds like you've done a lot of marketing, a lot of work for your book. When it comes to that specific accolade, that's not one that I'm familiar with, the Who's Who's
Mm-hmm.
recommendation.
Yeah.
If you have a question about that, you could also email us and we can look into that. I will say that it even so that's an accolade I'm not familiar with, but at the end of the day, no matter what accolade that you've won, that you've earned, be sure to use that as much as possible in your own
Yeah.
marketing. And that's true of awards, reviews, no matter how much those entities do or don't do, even kind of like I talked about the Pulitzer Prize earlier. Of course, they do lots of marketing and promotion for their authors, but as the author of your book, you will always see the highest rate of success, the highest rate of engagement with your readers. So it's about really leveraging those awards, those accolades that you get to create that discoverability. And let me know if you have follow-up questions. That was a great one. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. What are some kind of awards offered for fiction and historical fiction?
Ooh, I
I think
love
there's
this.
lots,
There's
right?
lots. There's lots. The best recommendation I can give you is to go sign up for your free month of Pro. See what's out there for your book. And this is true of any genre, including historical fiction, but you will see awards that have category of historical fiction. You will see entire organizations that are actually just they're focused on historical fiction. The whole entity itself is dedicated to novels and historical fiction. So it's kind of cool to see the different kinds of
But
organizers
I've
out
seen some
there.
too that really niche down. I've
Yeah,
seen some awards that are like, very specific genres, subgenres
yeah,
that
that's
I'm like,
exactly right,
never
Casey.
even heard of that. Cool.
Yeah,
Learn
well,
something
it's
every day.
exciting because you can use that with also kind of alongside more general categories from other awards, and those will sharing that news with different audiences. They will engage very differently. So when you submit your book to a historical fiction group that is running a historical fiction award with lots of really interesting subgenres and subcategories that can help you in a very different way from maybe entering a different award that's more, like national or something with the more general category of historical fiction. So see kind of what's out there for your book and do kind of keep in the back of your mind, how could you use that? How could you use that in your marketing? And how could you use that to really maybe even open up new categories, new niche readers for your book?
Okay. All right. I'm looking for both editorial review and potential awards in one search. Is there a way to parse that out in your available packages?
Absolutely. Go take advantage of your pro plan. You'll get a free month of pro service, and on that pro service, you will see awards and editorial reviews that are a perfect fit for your book. And this goes
Excellent.
for anyone, anytime, after you activate that offer, feel free to get in touch with us if you have questions. We're always here to help you kind of navigate your account, set up your book, set up your service in the best way possible for you because we want you to take advantage of that and just kind of see like what does the universe of accolades look like specific for your book.
All righty. Um, is submitting to contests safe if my manuscript hasn't been published yet?
Yes, absolutely. So, a couple of things that you want to do consider digital entries are hugely important. That's when you can submit a PDF copy of your book to be considered by the award. Not only does that save you a lot of money, shipping hassle, sending multiple books, multiple copies, sending a manuscript is great because you can get that kind of pre-publication feedback for your book. Like I said, some judges will offer private feedback that you can go and take to improve your manuscript. We even regularly work with authors who will submit their book to awards leading up to publication, and they don't have a set publication date. In fact, they're trying to secure a publisher or an agent. And publishers and agents have come to us and said that the authors who were working on that, taking that marketing effort for their book, they were more likely to choose them for to be their agent or to be their publisher.
That's
That can be,
fascinating because I
yeah.
have to admit, I initially, when I think about book awards, I think about self-published,
Oh,
because you think, well, I mean, just where my
yeah,
mind goes, and I
yeah,
guess because I work with so many of them, but
yeah,
and I do know, like logically, if you are traditionally, even if you're like Big Five published, they don't do what they used to do for their authors. They don't. It used to be, here's the book, and then your hands are clean, and you just collect the money throughout your
yeah.
life.
Oh,
But that's not a thing anymore. Like authors are expected to market their own books. And
yep.
I guess that would include, but I can see where if you wanted to be traditionally published and go the agented route, having awards and things from a not yet published book, because it's really
100.
hard to get a public, I'm sorry, I'm a verbal processor.
No, I love
So
it. This is
having,
all great.
so
Yeah,
having, if a book is already published, it's harder to get agented. That's a
yeah,
thing. But having awards and things to back up, to put in your query
yep.
letter to agents, I guess that would be very valuable. I learned
Everything you
something new
said,
today. I love it.
that was perfect. Well, it was perfect because it is, we do see a lot of authors. Once you choose a publishing path, it's completely normal to be comfortable, familiar with that path. It is true, though, there are awards for independent, self published, traditional, unpublished works, and the way that you leverage awards can be very different depending on what is your unique author journey. And like you said,
Hmm.
even the big five, they don't, resources are always limited. So we are seeing traditional publishers aren't able to do the same marketing tasks that they were able to do 10, 20, 30 years ago. So when authors are showing up and being able to deliver these results, even saying, I guess it's kind of a version of story marketing. You don't have to have award-winning results yet when you're querying. You can simply, include in that cover letter what awards are you pursuing? What accolades, what editorial reviews even are you pursuing? And at the end of the day, you can do that very effectively. You do need to know exactly what to submit to be able to do those things because not every accolade will accept unpublished or
Hmm.
whatever kind of work.
Fine
That is
print.
kind of some of the magic of Book Award Pro. We will automatically detect that and take care of that, and it will be included or it will inform the matches in your account.
All right, excellent. Um, let's see, time check. We're good. All right. How many nonfiction awards are out there and what types? Ooh, lots.
Yeah. You know what? This is kind of very similar to historical fiction. There are tons. There's tons and tons, and specifically, it depends on what slice of nonfiction that you write, how you write it. Um, it's all over the place. There are organizations dedicated to recognizing nonfiction literature. There are also entire, award programs that have categories of nonfiction. And at the end of the day, it is kind of about what you write and finding the right niche categories and the right niche organizations for your book.
Okay,
That
excellent.
is, that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. There is, for whatever reason, another myth in book awards is that only fiction.
I think because that's the ones you hear about the most,
Well, yeah, and
right?
it does. It depends on the region. So specifically, for example, in the United States, the National Book Awards are they're a very famous entity. And they do recognize fiction. And so over the decades, readers, even authors, have gotten really accustomed to thinking, oh, well, I've written nonfiction, my book isn't relevant to an award. And when in fact, there are lots and lots of nonfiction categories, nonfiction awards out there, and we regularly see nonfiction authors, especially maybe if you're writing a book that is supporting your career path. Maybe you're a business owner, maybe you're a doctor, maybe your profession is being supported by that book, and that even opens up more doors, expands more discoverability for your book because there are professional organizations like medical associations. They're always looking for the best book, nonfiction book for medical studies and things like that. So that's just an example of some of the very specific awards that you could win
Yeah.
that really depend on the nuances of your book.
Well, and like different organizations, like, the
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah Society of America probably, have the Engineers of America. I'm just making
yeah,
something up. But you know what I mean? Like, I
yeah,
guarantee they probably have something for books in those topics
yeah. And
where
those
that work
entities,
within their organization.
totally. And those organizations, the way that they share their news with their audience, well, that's a different audience that maybe you weren't engaging before, and that increases again that discoverability for your book, and before you know it, maybe it's published in journals that are being sent to other professionals in your industry.
Snowball effect. We love
It's
that.
cool. Yeah, it really is kind of
All right.
fascinating.
Here we go. Interested in your 5 editorial review package, but can I find out which review publications are included so I don't duplicate them in my review outreach?
Yes, absolutely. So this includes awards and editorial reviews. When you at the time you sign up, you won't see every award or every review at one time. It's would literally like blow up your computer. There's thousands and thousands of them. But what's more important is these accolades are changing all the time. They're kind of like moving targets, so to speak. So what you would do within your Book Award Pro account to make sure that we don't submit something you've already submitted yourself, go mark it submitted in the app. And of course, if you that will tell us, that tells our system, you've already entered that accolade. Don't send it again. If you have further questions, you can always get in touch with us, and we're glad to do a further review of your individual account. So we'll be able to dig into those details for you.
Nice. Be able to get a little more hands-on.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm a short story writer in the process of compiling my work into a book. Are there awards for a short story collection?
Yes, oh, absolutely. And it's interesting specifically for short story collections. Depending on your book, you might also be eligible for short story awards and short story collection awards. So be on the lookout for those. That's a great
Okay,
question.
excellent. I'm writing a mystery series. The first book was published in 2023. The second book was just released in January 2026. Can I look for awards for a series as well as individual books?
Absolutely. That's absolutely correct. By the way, all of you are writing fascinating things. That's awesome to hear.
Right? So cool.
And congratulations. Yes, something that you published in the past and that you published today. A series is unique because, like you said, you can earn awards individually. And also, Submit to awards that are collective, collectively honoring your series. So, yes, those opportunities absolutely exist, and please do pursue them because that's extra, again, extra discoverability for your book. Great question.
All right, excellent. Can you use the service for multiple books? Like, is it set up by author or is it set up by book?
By book, you can add as many books into the system as you want. So, for example, you could go take advantage of that free month of Pro and then say that you've written 5 books. Go use the free month of Pro for 1 book. And then for your other 4 books, go upload them on the starter plan. Starter plan is completely free, and you can just kind of keep a pulse on what's out there for your book. If you would like more research done for those books, like being able to see more, like the award entry fee at a glance and just more details, that is the essentials plan. So you might be able to, we do see authors all the time write multiple books, have a different book on a different kind of plan, depending on what their goal is. And again, you can always get in touch with us if you would like more guidance with that.
Okay. Um, Somebody asked this in the chat, and I think it's interesting. Do we have to engage and use the free trial now, or can we use it later? What is the
You can
deadline for the free month of Pro?
You can use it later. I believe we have it written on the website. It's good for at least a year from this airing, but always
Mhm.
be sure to check the website just to make sure there haven't been any updates.
Okay. Okay. Somebody else asked, do any submissions require hardcover books, like hard copy books, I'm assuming, or are they all
Yes,
electronic?
I will say that they tend to be older school awards, may require a hard copy of your book. That used to be complete industry standard. These days, more awards are opening up to digital submissions. Not only is
Mhm.
it really expensive for the author to be able to acquire 7 books and submit 7 books, like have that mailed and tracked, it's also expensive for award judges to ship those books among themselves. So, whenever possible, submit your book digitally. You don't get a bonus, you're not considered differently for submitting a hard copy of your book, but it is more time intensive, and it can just save you a lot of time and money to do the digital way.
I will agree with that. As I judged for different awards, and it's the physical. Like I've done I did one that had like physical copies, and it was overwhelming.
It can get very
It was a little
overwhelming.
overwhelming. It was lots of books.
It
Um,
is. It's kind of interesting for as much as we're speaking about the author side of awards, what goes into judging a book award and kind of operating what that looks like behind the scenes. It can get very, you
can
know,
be
they're very
digital
chaotic
helps.
very quickly.
All the things digital helps because
All the
paperwork. Oh,
things.
there's so much paperwork. Um, okay. Let's see.
You guys ask great questions, by the
I
way.
know.
Thank you
We're
so
coming
much.
up on time, so I'm just trying to pick one that would be, I think, most helpful to everybody.
Yeah, while
Um,
Casey's looking at questions, if we get disconnected today and I haven't answered your question, please get in touch with us anytime. We love hearing from our authors, our publishers, our publicists. You can always find us on our website at bookawardpro.com. You can always email us at team@bookawardpro.com. And as much as our system it is technology, we have humans, we have a lot of heart behind what we do, and we always want to help you be able to navigate your services better.
okay. Oh, this is interesting. Do you have to have a cover to submit if somebody is
Oh,
not have a published yet and it's still drafted,
yeah.
but just
So,
maybe a temporary cover or what do you think?
as professional as possible that you can make it. So, a lot of, manuscripts and completely unpublished work may not have a book cover. That's fine. That's kind of expected with an unpublished manuscript, but maybe if you can make something kind of polished and professional, just like maybe it's not your permanent cover, but it's just kind of an introduction to your book, so to speak. That would be a positive thing. But to answer your question directly, no, it does your entry doesn't require a cover unless the award entity is asking for it. So be
But
sure to
I would
kind of
think
dig into
having
the
it look
details.
as done, even if it's not published, but
Yeah,
having it look as done
done.
as possible, I would think
Yeah,
would be a
that's
bonus for
exactly
you.
right. That's exactly right.
All right, guys, we are at time. This is all
Oh,
super helpful as always. I love hanging out with you.
this was
Um,
such a great session. You guys asked really wonderful questions, truly. Whatever you're doing, I know awards can be kind of cumbersome, they can be time consuming. Let
a little
BookAward Pro
scary.
make it easier for you. Yeah, a little scary. Don't be afraid to get that validation, that credibility for your book. Awards can be a very successful way to market your book, and we're here to help you.
And we'll see everybody at the summit. Make sure
Yes,
if we didn't get around to answering the questions, you can reach out to them or bring all of your wonderful, thoughtful questions to all of our presenters at the summit.
yes.
And all right, thank you all for coming. And like I said, it'll just be a day or two and we'll get the replay sent out.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing your time, and I will see you at the summit.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.